Well, hello folks, we're in the greenhouse because we're doing another awesome propagation station today. So the last video we talked about nodes. Today we're going to go, nodes, but this plant doesn't have a stem. How do I know where the nodes are? So we're going to use these guys for that. Spider plants or airplane plants, depending where you live. And it's going to be awesome and fun, so we're going to do that. As usual, if you like this content, hit that thumbs up button. Go on, smash it right now. Give it a good old click. And also, remember, if you click that subscribe button and that little bell, you'll get notified every single time I post a video. So that way you don't miss out. And feel free, drop down underneath this video into the comments and we can have a wee chat. Are you trying this? Have you potted any on? We could keep an eye on each other's and have a bit of a growth-on. See how we go. And also, do you call them spider plants or airplane plants? I'm interested to see. Right, on with the rest of the video now. Now, first things first, before I get into this, I just want to do the most amazing shout out and say that today's video it's not brought to you by, but I'm completely dedicating it to Seb's Urban Jungle, which is a plant shop in Edinburgh, kind of online plant shop in Edinburgh, but they do deliver throughout the UK. And the reason I'm going to give them such a big shout out is they saved our bacon with this video. I have already made this video months ago, and unfortunately, because I'm a total doofus, I didn't check that the mic was working and there was no sound. So I've got this whole awesome video and there's no sound on it. So Seb was amazing and he actually turned up at my door with this spider plant to give me, because the problem was I had taken all of the babies off this one to do the video and had none left. So he turned up with his spider plant with lots of babies so that I could remake this video. So I'm going to put the details in the description below. Go and pop over to their website. They are awesome. They deliver in person if you're in the Edinburgh area. No joke. Seb turned up at my door with this. It was amazing. But if you're in the UK, they'll use couriers and deliver that way. But they've got a brilliant website with lots of indoor or house plants, depending where you live, what you call them. Huge selection of all the trendy stuff and some other things. So go down there, give them a click, pop onto their Instagram channel and give them lots of love from us. Okay, guys, these guys have been amazing and I can't shout them out enough. But with that said, let's get on to spider plants and how we propagate this type of plant when there's no stem with nodes, kind of. Now, I'm going to put this out there, okay? If you guys have never done any kind of propagation before, you've not actually kind of tried to grow on plants like this, I'd say get a spider plant and make that your first one, because it is so easy, okay? Now, there are 3 ways you can do to make this work. I'm going to talk to you about I'll talk to you about them all, but I'm going to show you 2 ways. And luckily, because I've done this already, I've got lots of photos and things I can show you. And this is what started the whole thing about the propagation station. That's why I bought this, was for actually doing these spider plants. So yeah, so this is going to come into things as well. So first thing first then. I spoke to you previously about nodes, okay? And the fact that nodes were the little bumps in the stem where you get new growth, new leaves, new bits of stem, and that's a node, and it's where all the hormones are in the plant. Now, you might be going, yeah, but that's not got stems, it's just lots of leaves, Eli. True, yep. But we can still get node cuttings from this guy, because what spider plants do is they put out these massive runners. It's a bit like a strawberry plant, same idea. And they have lots of these little guys, which are baby plants. Now, you hear these called pups, puplets, plantlets, and babies. For the purpose of today's video, I'm not going to try and sound all official and stuff. I'm just going to call them baby plants. But let me show you something. So we spoke about nodes, okay? Now, again, I'm going to get you in real close to see this, but you can see here, it's all bumpy on the end, okay? It's like the bottom of a little plant, basically. So the plant goes that way, and that's its little bottom. Look, I've just damaged a leaf. Oh, you're such a brute, Eli. So there's its little bottom. But if I show you, do you see how there's a little shiny bump coming out of there, that's a node, okay? And that is the beginnings of where the roots are going to come from, and that's what we want, okay? Now, if I get one that doesn't have that, now this is quite mature, that's the only thing. It's been sitting in my office waiting on me doing this video. This is a great example to show you, because you can see in this one, the nodes are actually quite well formed, they're quite big, so it makes it really obvious what they are there. Okay? Right, one that doesn't have a node, I don't think I'm going to have one. Nope, they've all got nodes. Okay, you're going to have to trust me then. When it doesn't have any nodes, it's just a really smooth surface on its little bottom. There's no bumps. Okay? So you can, if it doesn't have nodes, you can still take this and propagate from it. It's just more likely to take and grow roots if it's got nodes, because it's part of the way down that journey. But that's what we're going to do. Now, it's really complicated. Are you ready? So where will we start? This is a nice big one that will be easy to see. So we're going to go with this one, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut the plant cut this stem off it as close to that little baby plant as we can without cutting the baby plant, okay? That's it. So you now have this individual little plant that is no longer supported by the mother plant. So that's what these big stems are. They're supporting these guys and feeding them and all that kind of thing. And we've now taken it off of the plant. So what we need to do now is get that into its own medium, okay? So I'm going to get a few of these and show you. So we now have all of these plants, 3 plants, all of these. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, right, if you've got a spider plant or an airplane plant, these guys put out the babies like you would not believe. You'll easily get like 10 at a time. So fantastic for presents. Something I do is I've got lots of these little tiny terracotta pots, really nice little pots to give as a gift. So I regularly give little spider plants now to friends for their desks and their offices and stuff, just to brighten the place up. And that is the gift that keeps on giving, because this will grow to be a decent plant, big plant, and that'll give out babies that they can give away, and it just keeps going. Now, I'm not going to do the pose for a thumbnail because I've got thumbnails from the last time. Or do you prefer when it's an up-to-date in this jumper this time if I go? Right, maybe one of them will make it. But yeah, so awesome wee gifts. Now, I told you guys there's 3 ways that people propagate, okay? And I said that that is why I bought this guy. So, the first way, we haven't gone into detail yet, but there are some plants that you can propagate in water, okay? It tends to be when it's soft stem plants, not hardwood cuttings. So like, you don't take branches from your trees and put them in water and wait for them to root. It just wouldn't take. It takes too long for them to root and they could rot. But a softwood tends, or a soft stem, tends to root much, much faster, so the plant doesn't rot while it's rooting. So spider plants are one of the ways that you can put them in water and root them in water. You can also do it in soil as normal. And you can also, I've never done it this way, but it's quite common, a lot of people do it, is you get a little saucer and you put a damp piece of paper towel on their kitchen towel and you sit the plant on it. Now, the benefit, you might wonder, how do you choose which method to use? Okay, now the benefit is this. The normal way to do it is in soil. That's normal, standard, in nature. Plants would grow in soil. These plants put out those big stems with all the babies. They'll touch the ground and the little plants will then root in the ground, the same way a strawberry does, okay? So it's natural to put them in soil. But if you're like me and nosy and like to see if the roots have grown yet, then water propagation's an awesome way to do it. So the first ones we're going to do then is that way. So you don't need one of these, right? This is a cheap propagation station I bought online. It was like a tenner, I think. And it is basically just some little glass jars, bottles, whatever, that you put water in. It's visual. The idea of this is it sits somewhere and looks nice. That's the idea of this, okay? So all you would do is water. So there you go. All got water in them. And then you just put the plant in it. just pop the plant on the top, and you want to make sure those little nodes are in the water, because that is where the roots will form, where they're touching the water. So there we go then. I've now got these 3 little baby spider plants that I'll actually be able to watch and see them root. So you can see how amazing it is. These guys will grow really awesome taproots, and then you can put them into a pot with some soil if you want, and that way you know that they've got roots and they're going to survive, they're going to be strong and healthy. Okay, now you don't need one of these daft little propagation station things. It's just a bit of fun. You guys saw me doing it with the basil. I just put it in a jar. And the other thing I've got is loads of these little miniature milk bottle type things. It does the same job. All you're wanting is something that you can put water in. And if it's clear, then that's a bonus because you can see the roots. Okay, it doesn't have to be. So let's just put some in soil then, because I've got lots. So any little pots will do. You don't want a big pot, just a little pot. Now, these guys are still babies and they don't have a proper root system yet, so you do want to be using potting soil, nice, fine stuff, okay? If you don't have potting soil, again, I say this all the time, you can make your own. It just needs to be very, very fine, so put it through a garden sieve or a garden, I think I saw them called riddles, but yeah, so you can get all the lumps and bumps and bits of wood out. And you want it to be very free draining, so add things like perlite, sand, that type of thing, so that it's not holding a lot of moisture, because these guys, until they establish, they're going to be putting out tiny little teeny roots, okay, that are very, very delicate, and you don't want anything damaging them. So that's where we go. So we've got our pot with soil in it, and all we're doing is a wee hole and making sure those nodes are in there and covered, and proper firm it down, okay? Because at the minute, it doesn't have any roots to hold it, so you need to properly firm it down to make sure it's in there and it's safe. And then we give it a water, and that's it done. How easy was that? So, cut them off the trailing stem of the plant. Cut them as close to the little baby plant as you can without cutting the baby plant. You're looking for the little bumpy nodes on the bottom, and you can either put them in water or in soil and just look after them like any other plant. So not direct strong sunlight. You want good strong light but not direct sunlight, so not directly in a sunbeam, because it can be a wee bit strong for them. So like any other plant, a good bright room, okay? You want a good lot of light, but not direct sunlight. That can be a bit damaging, especially for a baby plant until it gets established. So somewhere nice and bright, somewhere warm, because these are not native to the UK. And just make sure it's kept watered when it needs it. You can feed it, look after it as anything. They're actually really easy little plants to care for. Now, all I've got to do now is I'm actually going to repot this one because I'm not a massive fan of the pot it came in. And also, it's been looking after all these babies all this time. She's got to be a wee bit tired. So I'm going to give her some nice fresh soil and stuff and get her going. Hopefully that helped. So that's another episode about nodes and how you use nodes. Now we can start getting into all the mad interesting stuff. But you'll have to check back to find out more. See you guys.